Everybody, I'm back. This Hello everybody, I'm back. The video just started kind of weird. I'm back, and today this is a separate video. It's morning time. It's very early. It's not very early, but it's still early. It's not even 1 p.m. It's about to be 1 p.m. It's 12. Sun is out. I just woke up a little while ago. I've been up for a little bit. Got my phone right here. I'm gonna have this pulled up because I'm gonna have some statistics and stuff on here that I'm gonna quote. Uh, this video is gonna be about. It's gonna be like a direct speech to certain type of people right now that are in society, and the older generations. But it doesn't just mean older generations. It also includes other people who think the same way as those older people. They don't understand something. Another thing I've been seeing. So this I was spurred on to make this video because I see a lot of talk as well about. There's all this separation between the generations, right? Everyone's trying to make terms for generations. Generation X, Z, Alpha, baby boomers. They just call them boomers. And they're doing all the separation, and the generations are like at odds and conflicting with each other. Um, Most of that is revolving around a disgruntled behavior or an angry spirit that is in the younger generation, and it's directed at, and it's in Gen Z and some of Gen X and like millennials as well. Directed at the boomers because they came before us, and is being interpreted and is being perceived as, since they came before us, it was their responsibility to make sure the world was in a place that was not advantageous, but you know, and where we can operate, basically just sustainable, regular place where my effort means something, and I can go and get my way, make my way through life with effort and intelligence and strategy. Then I could make something of myself, and it should be not easy, but it should be a fluid. Something about it should be fluid, and there should be balanced systems of rewards upon your investments and stuff like that. It needs to be like a healthy system, and we don't have that. So a lot of people are putting the blame on the boomers, which makes sense because if you think about it, if it was anybody's fault, how could it be the fault of people who aren't even alive, who haven't even been alive that long, uh, and also who can't afford to give much financial contribution to society? Like they can't even really be counted on like scales for like the GDP and taxes. They can't really be counted on there because they can't generate no revenue, and they can't keep no revenue as much as the previous generations. All the statistics already exist. Even to this day, boomers are still among the most financially capable generation. Everybody after them is basically running around on fumes, and they trying to scrounge up what's left. But anyway, I'm gonna touch on multiple things, and I'm gonna break them up. So the first thing I'm gonna touch on is gonna be the job market. As a young man myself who has to find a job and make my way out here, and who cannot afford his own completely to take care of himself, and completely can take all of my living expenses without a burden. Like there's complications and things get tight, and it's basically paycheck to paycheck like everybody else around here. Uh, I understand this very well, and I'm gonna put it like this. So there's this channel, it's a very good channel that you guys should check out. His name is Moon. It's literally like a big moon. That's his PFP with some like little face on it, like a smiley face. He makes a lot of very in-depth instructional videos with slideshows and captions come up, and they show all the data and statistics. He quotes it all very accurately, and very neat format in his videos. Very good stuff. I'm gonna quote some statistics that he has quoted right now. So how many the job market right now? When people go out looking for jobs, first of all, let's talk about the formula, right? So what a lot of boomers and older generation who believe this stuff, this lie, will say is there's a formula, or they'll quote this formula even if they don't say the word formula. They'll quote this formula as the path to productivity as a young person, right? You want to start getting out and doing something and being productive, you need to follow these steps. And they'll say some shit like, go to school, obviously. While you're in school, you know, the grade schools, elementary, junior high, high school, and you need to do your best in school, do good there, so you can get maybe a scholarship or be in honors or something, and another school of higher education can see you and welcome you. You know, they'll put pressure on you for that, to do that. Uh, but everyone does not do that, and that's not something that happens to everybody. It's a minority of students. But even outside of that, even if you were to have that, and that's cool and all, if you do successfully get into honors programs, congratulations. You're good at school. Just all I can say. Everyone's not fit for that, and school doesn't take into account. School is a very archaic system, and a lot of people who believe in it have an archaic way of thinking because they put so much faith in school and how it does and how it organizes and how it compartmentalizes students and indoctrinates them in a very archaic way. It's a old ass way that does not contribute to any true and authentic growth for the individual. It's just, here is knowledge, here is book, and it doesn't really matter if that information is true or not. Mostly just quoting history right there with that. But all the other information, all the curriculum, they just throw it at you, tell you to absorb it, regurgitate, put it. So basically, that, and for some people, when you hear it that way, you're like, well, that's so simple. It's so simple. You read the shit off the paper, retain it in your brain, remember it, put it back down on another piece of paper in the form of answering a question. You finished school. You did good, right? No, wrong. School, it has way more than that. That's not what happens when you go to school. School is an entirely different environment. First of all. Second of all, not everybody learns that way. That's never been the case as far as ever in human history, where everyone is just learns the exact same way. If that was the case, the world would be a very different place, right? And the school does not give a fuck about trying to help people who might have a specific way of learning, if they have a deficiency, or if they just auditory learners or visual learners, or it takes them a little more time to grasp something, or maybe their brains are powerful at sniffing out bullshit, and if they don't have a certain degree of passion behind what they're doing, they can't focus. Like, it's not, they can't lock in on it like that, because it's like, bro, I don't want to be here. Like, this is not, I know what I want to do, or at least I know I don't want to do this. And since they consciously know that and they understand that, a certain part of their brain is always kind of just locked out, and it makes it impossible for them to participate at A1 performance throughout their school, because their minds are strong. Their will is strong in that way to go against this waste of time, essentially, that they're perceiving it as a waste of time. They're not doing nothing that they want to do. They're not doing something that's productive to them in their minds. They might even already know or have some idea about what they would like to do with their talent and with their time, and they're not given that opportunity. They're told to, learn this math. Oh yeah, and just to show you, because you can see it, this is not no satanic nothing. This is a pentagram inside of a wood and some black tourmaline crystal chunks inside. But this, I did some research on, like spirituality and things, and I found out that the pentagram symbol was stolen, and it was inverted. So it used to belong to people who are more or less spiritual professors slash Gnostics, and they use the pentagram to represent the full spectrum of human existence. If you put your arms out and your head out, you fit in the star. And at the tip of the star is spirit. So that's how you're supposed to prioritize your life. You're supposed to live spirit first. And then there's like will and love. And the bottom two are something else, like body, flesh, and something else down there. And they're supposed to go last. And they're like not the least important, but they're part of the lower part of this balance to have a good, healthy life spiritually, according to this template, this shape, the pentagram. Um, the devil is evil. He does not like when people are spiritually enlightened and doing good shit. So he has the same symbol here, invert it like the devil does with everything, flipping shit, transforming it into something bad. So this is the opposite of satanic pentagram, essentially what it is on my neck right there. Anyway, back to the school. The school system is garbage. I'm just gonna sum that up. School system garbage. Another guy, he's black man. He makes informational videos. He also kind of like does this rap thing when he tries to make his informational videos. I believe he's part of the school program, which is SKOOL. He's been involved in some other things. I've watched his channel and seen some of his content, and he touches on this. He makes a whole video that talks about how the school program is essentially 500 years old, and it was a indoctrination center. And the way it is made was to be an indoctrination center, and that's why in many ways schools resemble prisons, and they have a lot of similarities, especially architecturally, because the architectural designs affect your mind. I don't know if you know that, but there's a science behind how your mind reacts to spaces depending on their architecture, and how energy flows through places depending on their architecture. All these are very square, boxy, liminal spaces that we have in society are deliberately designed that way to create conformist behavior in people and to box you in, eliminating creativity, eliminating spirituality to a sense. And that's why schools are designed the way that they are, and that's why they have not changed for 500 years, because the people who created them, Rothschilds, Rockefellers mostly, are involved in most of our schools in America being built and funded, especially the more prestigious ones. They made those schools for one specific purpose: to create a worker class. These are their own fucking words. They said we need people who are gonna take task and do what the fuck I say and do what I say, and that's it. That's the whole relationship. They come to me, I give them some orders, they go do it like some fucking robots. That is what school system was designed to do. It's a 500-year-old system. It's old as fuck, which means as more things have been discovered in psychology and chemistry about human beings, the school system has not changed or acclimated to keep up with none of that shit, and they just keep trying to smash every generation into the same box. I'm sorry to tell you, that's not gonna work. Ain't no solution ever come from a behavior like that, where you're in an environment that's constantly changing and you just trying to keep apply the same old methods to something that's brand new, like a new situation. You trying to use the same old methods. That's part of that's we're gonna touch on a lot of that behavior in this video. So that's the school system. School system garbage that bleeds into the work system because it's the same way. It is based around you having successfully been crushed into the box of the school indoctrination. All your imagination bled out. All of the other individual traits about you that might make you special have been bled out or stuffed successfully into this box, and you just a little worker bee type person. So now you go into the world. Worker bees don't ask no questions. Okay, that's a very important part of this. So now, if you were successfully going through the school system, you are indoctrinated completely. You don't ask no fucking questions. You have a certain degree of blind faith in the system, almost like you did while you were in school, but now it's applied to the system at large, to the world. They're gonna tell you, go get a job. This is what you need to do. After you get a job, you need to start budgeting and managing your money, and then you need to start paying for school. Even though school is a fucking wage trap, and it's been that way for however fucking long, even before women were allowed to go to school and colleges and shit, it's been a wage trap. It's what it is. It's a big way for rich people whose names are attached to these schools and who founded these schools to get paid, and for the government to get paid. That's what the fuck it is. Meanwhile, they giving you some knowledge that they curated all the way to the end of the word, curated all the way to the D, from C to D, curated that shit. So it's not like they're giving you valuable knowledge that's true and authentic, that's going to help you revolutionize or grow in some way meaningfully, that is not controlled or directed by the system. They don't ever give you true knowledge. That's another thing about all of these institutions. There's no truth in this shit. It's designed in their specific way. And if you don't beat yourself and morph yourself to fit into their design, then you're considered a failure. But in honesty, their design is not shit. They don't run shit around here, even if they have the society and we are all playing this game of society and economics and make believe stuff. This is make believe. None of this shit is real. None of this shit is guaranteed or is supposed to exist by nature. This is all a product of a big ass game of make believe. Some people sat down and they said, you know, I would like it if we had a system that was like this, so things can be more convenient, whatever. That means you made some shit up in your brain and then you believe in it and you make it into a system that's just like make believe, except with extra steps. And they treated it very seriously and they allowed everyone else to join them. And some people were not invited, some people were forced to join them in this game of make believe, but we're not going to touch on that right now. Anyway, it's a big ass game of make believe by their design. If you don't capitulate and morph yourself into their design, you're considered a failure, and everyone is going to treat you that way, and society will treat you that way. If this stretches into many things, many rights, many legal systems that exist to make sure this blind faith and very strong level of conformity is maintained throughout every generation that comes into this world. But one of the things that is essential to this is breaking you into school and then putting you in the workforce. The workforce is basically just an answer to how people want to control the, I want to say, like the possibility or the potential of everybody in the world, right? I refuse to believe, and I will never say with my chest and heart and believe that out of all of different individuals that can be born in the world or in one country for that matter, all the different skills, infinite potential, and things that you discover about yourself and things that you have not yet discovered about yourself. After all of that myriad of potential and possibility existing in every individual on an individual basis, that this system has the ability to actually help and foster that channel and channel that growth and that discovery in everybody with the systems that it has in place. Like, there's no fucking way. There are people who are janitors or some shit like that who probably have the potential to do something way greater. Way greater. Like, their imagination is awesome if they had the right tools and if they were taught the right way, and they had, you know what I'm saying, if society had the advancement that it claims to have and it took the steps to understand and allow people to healthily and fluidly express themselves in whatever way that they can manage, instead of a way that they want to give you, a way that you can manage, that you can set up for yourself, the world would be a very different place. And there wouldn't be so many grunt jobs as well, because everybody would be trying to do something specific that they have a passion towards and that they believe is their authentic mission. And as we touched on earlier, school and the workforce is not made to create no authentic nothing. They're made to create worker bee people who shut the fuck up and do what you're told and produce some shit that is mine. I want you to produce my stuff. I want you to get on my assembly line. I want you to get inside behind the counter and work on my franchise and my Starbucks, or whatever. That's what they want. Conformers, worker bees. The current work system, and this has always been the case, but the current work system has broken the only power that was helping it maintain a certain level of control over the generations that participate, right? So for the longest time, people had no problem conforming. They didn't care, they didn't mind, because it was like, well, life is good. I can go to the store and I don't have to go fight no bears or to get some food or do no shit like that. So I might as well just participate in the system. This is cool. This is a great setup. All I gotta do is go to work, go to school, get follow the steps, and I'll be okie dokie. Right? Put in the effort. Do it right. I'm cool. Right. That shit is gone. Right? We don't have that shit no more. That formula is broken. That's what I want the boomers and other people who believe in that shit to understand. And it's not like, oh, it's just some unsuccessful person sitting around complaining. No. I've tried many things in my life, and I had many hard stops, and had to change my ways, reorganize, rethink my decisions. Done this, failed at that. I'm not that old either. I have much more life left to live. But there's another thing that I do that a lot of people do not do, is I do not sugarcoat with no bias, and I do not try to flip the script with no bias to aid a perspective that is loyal to the system. The system is garbage, and it does not do all that flipping and dipping to protect me. So I'm not changing and orientating my mind in a different way or trying to ignore certain truths because I want to support the system and I want other people to to take on that same perspective and we all support the system. Fuck the system. The system does not give a fuck about you. Even if you do everything right and you follow every step exactly to the letter of how they tell you, the system can and will chew you up and shit you out on the same fucking day. So I don't understand where the passion comes from, where people are wanting to have this undiluted, uninterrupted faith in the system, like it's gonna take you somewhere. Even for the people who came before us, even if they had successful lives and all that shit, the system still did not give a fuck. If the system wanted to destroy your ass, you would be destroyed. Period. Regardless of how you move and how you've done the right things, none of that shit matters. And it's more apparent now than ever. Because now the little bit of free range and the little bit of return on investment that the system used to give you to spur you on to keep contributing and participating in the system is gone. So now even the people who are trying to do the right shit, they're getting the short end of the stick. My father and other parents will say a lot of things and they believe a lot of things about the system, and they parrot these things that they were taught when they were young, when they gave up on their fucking dreams and they let the system box them up and cut their spirit in half and fit them into a job. They just regurgitating that same shit onto their kids because that's what they were taught to do by the system. They've been indoctrinated. Even if they do have a time where they can explore other thoughts, it's always just kind of like a form of entertainment, like a thought experiment. They're not genuine about none of that shit. The only thing they believe in is the system. Even if their lives themselves are fucked up, they have very fucked up lives, they still have more faith in the system than they have in their own kids trying to find another way or make a new way. They have more faith in the system. And they enforce a lot of this behavior. It used to be that you go to work, you find something that you can tolerate, first of all, because you're most likely not going to get into your dream job right out of school. Okay, so you find something you can tolerate, you go to work, make your little check, save a little bit of it. You used to have the ability to save. That shit is gone. So we're not even deep into the explanation, really focusing on the explanation. We're not even deep into it, and it's already bad. All right, so we used to have, especially people who live in like big areas, big city areas, cooked. Right, we used to have the ability to save, even if it was just like $100. That's still better than no savings. Right, today people cannot afford to save. Do you know how, I'm about to show you this percentage. I'm gonna show you this percentage right now. It is said right now that from ages between 18 to 24 of the Gen Z, 55 to 60% of them live with their parents. Are you parents alive right now literally going to look at your children and look at all this next generation up to a margin of 60% and genuinely believe that all of these young adults are just some super lazy fucking bums who want to sit at home and they don't want to get away from your ass and go have a life? For real. There's no other contributing factors. It's just that they don't want to do stuff. And it's just that since they didn't follow your advice, that their life sucks because you know so much, because you so fucking successful, huh? No, it's because the fucking system is garbage. It's garbage. And all that cooperation and all that doing the work don't have the same results. It doesn't produce enough feasible, tangible results that can help them formulate their own fucking lives. So a lot of them, after they try and they go experience that bullshit, they're like, okay, so what am I supposed to do now? The parents would just be mad and be upset that their kids are not trying to be productive every fucking day, every day that they draw oxygen, that they're not trying to do some productive shit. How consistent could you be in being productive or trying some shit when you know it don't work? If you was in any other scenario, let's say you had a mission to get through a big ass block of ice. You put on one side, it's a fucking 300-foot wall of ice. It's big, it's thick. You got a mission to get to the other side. You have some tools with you and some stuff with you, just the bare minimum. You start hacking away at this ice. You hacking and hacking. It's been a long time. You ain't make no dent. You ain't make no dents. You made a crack, and after that, you've been stuck at this crack. You ain't made no significant distance since you made this crack in this ice wall. You have the bare minimum tools. You ain't started with no fucking power drills or no super hot laser or some shit that can get through this ice. No, you got a fucking pickaxe and an ice pick and some basic shit on your body so you don't freeze to death immediately. And you have to get through this ice. How consistent can you be while you over there freezing and shit? Because you still getting affected by your environment. While you sitting there trying to be productive, you still getting affected by your environment consistently. It's hammering away at your ass, freezing your fucking back meat, even though it's semi-protected. You're not immune. You're not immune, so you still getting frozen. The cold is starting to bite at your skin because it's dehydrating, it's freezing your fucking skin up, but you still gotta move and try to get through this ice. You're not even halfway. You ain't even 1.2% way through this big ass block of ice. How in the fuck can you genuinely say that you would be unaffected by that? Not discouraged, not depressed, not exhausted, and just keep on hammering away. You would do that until your death? Maybe, yeah. Maybe that's why the other generations are the way that they are. Because y'all have been successfully turned into some dumbass worker bees who cannot think outside of the worker bee program and act outside the worker bee program that you've been given. Because let me tell you something. Anybody who isn't brainwashed to hack at that ice, at some point they're going to stop. And they're going to be like, this is not fucking working, bro. This is not working. I need to find another way. Maybe I can climb over this bitch. Or maybe I can travel somewhere further down the wall and find a crack that's already made. Something. But this right here, this is not going to work. I'm going to freeze to death right here. I'm going to freeze to death. I cannot keep doing this. I can't. And I don't have the luxuries of I don't have like security or nothing without your parents trying to help you a little bit. You still on borrowed time anyway because your parents is feeling it too. The parents is feeling it. They getting their funds fucked up, which is also why I don't understand how some people who already have money, who already have careers and already have shit in tow, they already have stuff, they got way more gear than you. It's super hard for you. What the fuck do you think I'm finna do? I don't even have the ability to gear up like how you have gear right now. I don't even have the ability to gather that shit. I don't have none of that. All I have is you for assistance if you feel like assisting me a little bit. But I'm still basically bare bones over here. I'm still basically bare bones. I got the bare minimum. What fucking miraculous play do you think I'm finna perform to get through this shit when this same situation got you stuck and got you fucked up and you have more than me? How does that make any sense? The work situation is atrocious. We can't save no fucking money. Now we also got to compete with AI, and illegal immigration is contributing to jobs and employers not hiring people who live here because they like to get their easy labor and cheap labor off people who do not belong here or who are not here legally, so they don't have to pay them or they don't have to pay them as much, but they still getting all the work that they want done. So they're going to pay them fucking 15 cents when they could be paying a person who lived here, who was born here, $1. They're not going to take you. They're going to hire the 15-cent motherfucker, and they're going to fill up so they can save money on they're on their business. Hire those people, and a lot of them are very happy to be here, and they worked hard to be here, so they hard workers for 15 fucking cents instead of hiring you for $1. And you may not even work as hard, but you still more expensive. So it still is not good for you either way. They're gonna hire the 15 cents. On top of that, we got AI and shit keep rolling through. What motherfucker go find a job, apply to jobs here and there. Are you not watching? You not watching. You not watching the world. How many people, the people who have the good jobs are getting fucked right now. People who have 5, 10, 15 years at Google, Microsoft, working at Facebook, or bigger tech companies, IT. This was apparently in the news at some point, was supposed to be the future for us, right? If you considered yourself successful, you wanted to make some money, get in IT. Go ahead, go do that. Go get you some schooling. Go get you an IT job. Whew, you'll be fine. You'll be cool, bro. No, that shit was dumb from the beginning. I don't understand how people did not see that shit. I saw that shit before it even happened. Your job is to program robots to do work. What the fuck? Bro, come on now. You think you finna program some robots to do work and they're not gonna use the robots to do work and replace you? How far do you think into the future when you do things? If you went to work today, if you was at work and you was a 70-something-year-old person, let's say you old as fuck and you've been working at a place for all your life, right? And somebody new comes in. This man is young, he like 20. And the people who work here are telling you to train him to do your job. You think once you've successfully trained him to be as adequate at your job as you are, that you're not getting fucking replaced? You're getting replaced. The same thing is happening with the fucking AI. So everyone who went and got that little quick money and felt good for a little bit with the IT jobs are getting shafted right now. Pineapples straight up the ass right now. They spent all that time and money. They went to get degrees and get these fucking jobs, and they probably had it cool for a little while. And now the robots can do their jobs. The elites and the people who own these these companies, do not give a single fuck about you and your ability to produce and provide for yourself. They don't give a fuck. So now that you have become obsolete, and most of these niggas are so horny for a technological AI future, so now that you've become obsolete, they kicking your ass out. And those are the successful jobs. The other successful jobs that people usually just quote, that roll off the tongue, like doctor, lawyer, that type of shit, them shits are saturated and they're full of old people. We don't need 1 million doctors and lawyers. There's not even enough. There's no need. There's no need. We already have lots of doctors and lots of nurses and people in the medical institutions. Other jobs need to get filled. And depending on the degree of what medical license you have, you are very valuable to that place wherever you're working, and they're gonna keep you there, right? So you got a degree, you a doctor, you a heart surgeon, or you just a surgeon in general, that's still valuable. You just a surgeon, or maybe you a heart surgeon or a brain surgeon or some shit. Those niggas are not leaving their positions. So you going to school, unless you're gonna go to another fucking country that has a position like that available for you, you over there trying to learn how to be a brain surgeon. It's only 100 brain surgeon slots, and they all taken up. Those niggas are not leaving their jobs unless they get fired or they find a better job. So in the meantime, you gonna sit on your fucking brain surgeon degree and be fucking broke and have to come work a regular job like the rest of us. And that shit is a death trap, because it's not paying enough for you to live. You're not getting enough for you to live. I'm not talking about luxury, nothing. I'm talking about paying just to keep everything flowing. Lights, food, the rent. And nigga, the average rent price in America right now is like $1,600. And these are shitty little places, bro. Shitty little roach boxes. $1,600. That is not counting all the other living expenses and necessities that you need to cover. And the job's just trying to give motherfuckers $17, $18, $19 an hour. That's not enough. That's not enough. Even at $20 an hour, you still gonna need some help. You still gonna need some help. And that's only happening in certain states, because they said fast food workers need to make more money because of some act that passed. And then after they did that, when they started giving them $20 an hour, they just raised the price of living again. So you back at square one. So you making $20 an hour, but it feels just like when you was making $16 an hour because everything is more expensive now. So you ain't made no progress. And they always doing this. They always keeping the cost of living ahead of what we can actually generate on a day-to-day basis while remaining healthy and fully functional, not turning into some fucking work ghouls with big ass bags under our eyes and 3 hours of sleep because we got 3 fucking jobs and we gotta rotate through all of these bitches just to come home to sleep for 3 hours and not have no time to do nothing else. And we still not living no luxury. We just covering the basics right now. And I don't even have enough sleep. Niggas are dying at work trying to keep up with the failing economy. Just find another job. Just go to school. That's not advice. That's not helpful advice, bro. You're not helping. Just repeating shit that you heard and that worked for you. No, we're not living in those times. That shit don't work. If the IT niggas and the niggas who you probably would pedestalize as successful, the successful youth are getting shafted by their careers because AI is taking their shit and they're struggling to survive themselves. They're not all sitting peachy, pretty and clean. They may have more money than the rest people, most people, but they still not sitting peachy. And a lot of them try to upgrade their way of living, right? They're not gonna be living in the fucking projects if they're working at Microsoft. They're gonna try to live somewhere else. And once they get up there, they can't fucking afford it, and they doing the same thing like we doing. They basically living paycheck to paycheck, even with their IT jobs and their special stuff. And that shit is limited. It's on borrowed time and it's limited. We can't all be lawyers. That lawyer that works at that law firm and all them lawyers that work there and they have those positions, guess what? They're gonna be there until they can't read a fucking document anymore. That means old as fuck. That means they're gonna pick up, they're gonna be working there until they can't be lawyers anymore because they've secured their shit. And like I said, everybody can't be a lawyer. Everybody can't be a doctor. Everybody can't be in the NFL. So there has to be some normal jobs that get done around here. And they have to be given to people, and those people need to be respected for doing those jobs. Because first of all, doctors, lawyers, and NFL players, they're not going out to eat. They're not going grocery shopping. They're not getting their car fixed. They're not doing a whole lot of shit if we normal people don't have jobs. So let's get that shit straight. Who brings the food into the grocery store? Who packs your bag? Who puts the fries in the bag? See, a lot of people say that shit like it's funny. Who puts the fries in the bag? Be appreciative. Be respectful. Don't be weird. Cause you ain't shit. What you running around with the ball in your hand? How is that useful to society? If anything, you should be making minimum wage. What the fuck are you doing for society? You got a ball. You run around some other niggas and you hit them and you dodge them and you go to the other side. You play in the NFL. How is that benefiting humanity? What is that ushering as far as our continuous growth into some better future? What is that doing? Nothing. You a fucking distraction, you some entertainment. That's what you are at best. An entertaining ass person. Congratulations. But when you need to eat, you gonna come to a place where somebody's making minimum wage. So if it's not gonna be respected, if these people who are working these minimum wage jobs are not gonna be respected and given the ability to take care of themselves, you can kiss our ass. You can make your own fucking food. You got millions of dollars anyway. Go open a fucking farm or some shit and grow your own fucking food. And when you need the fucking this is why they're bringing AI and shit into the picture, because they know that this shit is finna go down. If we can't survive, what's the point of working? If I'm fresh out of school, let's say I'm an honor student. Let's make this the ideal situation. I'll go to school. I'm in whatever high school, and I get into honors roll. I graduate with all my little ribbons and my little tassels and shit, and my robe around my neck. Class of 2026. I'm fucking the best day of my life. with my portfolio, my certificate of high school graduation, right? Is a couple of weeks after that. Parents already like, when you gonna get a job? Yeah, so I need to do that. I go and I says, well, I put in some applications for here. I use my scholarships for this school I want to go to. I want to go to UC Berkeley. Oh, that's great. Cool. So I start doing that math. I put in my scholarships. My scholarship is like a couple $1,000s. So you just bled out of your ass and your eyes and your ears as a youth, sacrificing a whole lot of your youth to get honors roll for a couple $1,000 uh in school. Now it's time to apply for this higher education. You got 1,000 something dollars to show for it. It's still gonna cost you 50,000 other more money for you to be viable to go to the school. You need to pay these fees. You need to go pull out a loan and do all this type of shit. We're not even going to touch on the banking system and how that shit has been going for the past couple years, okay? You got to pull out some fucking loans, though. And your little shitty scholarship ain't enough. You got to go apply for some more scholarships if you want to try to use scholarships to get in. Let's just say all that shit goes completely well. Let's say by the time you get into school, you only have $5,000 of debt. I know a whole lot of people heard that shit and was like, what fucking fantasy book are you reading? Right. I'm just making this optimal example for the boomers out there who are gonna try to make some smart ass rebuttals about the people who do it right. Okay, so this motherfucker gets into the school $5,000 minimum, maximum of school debt. They scholarships cover it. They got the honor roll. They super smart. They get into UC Berkeley. While they're in UC Berkeley, they still need to live and make money and shit. Okay. Let's say their dorms are covered and all that shit too. They still need expenses. They still need to live. They're going to be studying hard. Depending on what it is, they're going to be studying real hard. There's a lot of stress in school for two reasons. The main reason is, don't nobody want to do that shit. Ain't nobody excited about reading no fucking books all day and doing no fucking homework and math and writing shit down and regurgitating shit from some paper onto some other piece of paper. And the more you do it, the more you force yourself to do something you don't want to do, despite what society tells you, your body knows you don't want to do that shit. You know you don't want to do that shit. It's stressful. Stress affects your performance. So unless you find a way to perfectly manage that stress or very well manage that stress, that's gonna be a whole separate battle that you gotta fight while you're in school. Then you gotta go outside of school, find a way to make some money to survive. It's gonna be people working where you work that are not in school, and they're gonna be like, bro, I can barely get by. And you're gonna get all this information. This is the other thing that's happening. For some reason, even though boomers like to try and reference other successful people when they try to validate their points, they don't want to reference shit else that comes from outside of them as credible information, right? So while you at work and you going to school, but you working with some other people, and them people tell you how they can't fucking live and that this is their third or second job and they can't fucking live, you gonna start thinking about some shit. You in school right now, so you're gonna be like, hold on, how is that the case and how can I avoid that shit? I don't want that to happen to me, right? So how can where can I go make some money so I can set that up and that can be I cannot have that situation and not be having those problems, right? That's what you're gonna try to do. And then you're gonna realize there is no place. There is no place. It's not. The price of living has been going. I'm about to get another statistic for the people who need to hear this. The cost of essentials since 2017 and average earnings have grown by about 43%, but home sales prices and rents have surged by 81%. Did you hear what I just said? The cost of essentials since 2017, average earnings have grown by about 43%, by about. But home sale prices and rents have surged, not grown, surged by 81%. That's 20% away from 100%, nigga. The wages is not keeping up. This is some shit you're going to experience while you're at UC Berkeley. So unless you optimize your schools and your classes at UC Berkeley, probably doing some shit that you're not passionate about, just something that you know is going to give you a lot of money so you don't have these financial problems, unless you go and put yourself in that situation to take classes for some shit that you know will give you lots of money when you get out of school so you don't have financial problems, you're not safe from this. And even if you did do that, that still leads to a whole nother string of other problems because you're trying to live a life with no passion, where none of your authentic self is in that direction. You just doing it for the money. That's not good. How many examples of that do we have in the world of people living like that and not being happy? Plenty. So that's not a solution. That's not a solution. And just working and pretending like you can just work your way out of this big ass gap that I just said, the percentages, is delusional bullshit. You're not working out of that. You're not working over an 81% surge in prices. What fucking work you got? How long can you work? What kind of fucking magical knees and elbows do you have to where you can work that out? Unless you get lucky, really lucky, and you have a lot of great connections and friends, and these are some of the, they rubbing shoulders with some of the richest niggas in the world, with the best opportunities in the world, or in your country, you're not safe. And no work is solving this problem for you. You cannot outwork this gap. You are one motherfucker. You still need to go to sleep and eat and have reprieve and rest and relaxation and joy time. Yes, you need that shit. It's scientifically, go look it up. Ain't no human being designed to just work. You will fucking have a mental breakdown. So yes, rest time is needed. At least 8 hours of sleep. That's common knowledge. And reprieve time, where I'm not thinking about work, nothing. And I'm just me, chilling. Whatever that is. Whether you want to make fucking knit scarves or go play basketball, it don't fucking matter. You need that time as well. That's essential to your life and your health. You don't have no time for that shit. Trying to chase this 81%. And that shit is still growing today. Next year, it will be higher. And the wages will not be keeping up. So you have this degree. Let's say you finish school now. So while you were still in school, going through all that school-related stress and school-related problems, now you out of school. Let's say you graduated. Congratulations. You still have your little debt on you. And you need to find a way to make a living. Let's say you got a degree in let me try to think of something prestigious where there's lots of positions and where it's most likely you can get a job. Oh, unfortunately, is what I said earlier. It's IT. So you went to UC Berkeley and you did IT programs. Already talked about that. So you looking at that. That's what you looking at, right? You go to Microsoft or Google or some shit and you like, hey, this is the degree I got. Can I get a position here working as a software engineer or computer programmer or something in the IT? Can I do that, please? Sure. Let me ask you some questions. Okay, I see you got this. I see you got this. I'm sorry, you're overqualified. The fuck did you just say to me? Did you just say that I'm overqualified for a position? What does that even mean? If I'm overqualified, you should be overjoyed that I'm here and you should be hiring me right now. I can do the job so fucking great and perfectly because I'm overqualified. What's the problem? I'm sorry we're going to have to pass up on you, sir or ma'am. Maybe another position, maybe another company. Have a nice day, a nice life. You try to apply for some higher ball shit since you overqualified for the shit you went to school for. Oh, you're underqualified for that. We need at least 5+ years experience in that. Even though you have a degree, we need some experience too. Nigga, I just got out of school. What experience do you expect me to have? Experience in what? You think I can borrow some fucking experience from an alternate life that I'm living? I just got out of school. What's experience? How the fuck you gonna make an entry anything have experience requirements? You know what the word entry means? It means the beginning. It means I just walked in the door today. First time. Fresh. Wet behind the ears. All that shit that means new, the beginning. How the fuck you gonna attach years of experience to a job that's supposed to be entry level as a requirement? That's an oxymoron. That don't even make no fucking sense. Them things don't go together. That's like asking a motherfucker who's only knows how to make red paint to paint your car blue. Sure, they have paint and they can make paint, but it's not the right color. The whole situation is off because of that little ingredient. You change the color. It's blue. I have paint. I can paint shit, but I have red paint. And you gonna advertise this. You talking about you deceitful. Because this is an entry level job. It says entry level on the shit. So it says on the advertisement, I need my car painted red. I have red paint. I went to school and I got everything I need. I'm entry level job. I come to the job. Sorry, we need 3 to 5 years of experience. What? Okay, so the parents gonna say some more dumb, redundant, repeating shit. Go try another job. Try again. That's what they gonna do. And if you ask the question, can I try another way, or maybe can I take a break? No. You need to keep doing it like this because that's how it's gonna work, and that's how it's gonna work. How's it gonna work? Because I did this way, it's gonna work like that, but it's not doing that though. So I already followed your fucking advice, and it's not working. So you got some more advice for me? If you was in another situation where it wasn't your parents, and you took some advice from somebody and they told you some shit, you followed that shit, and it didn't work, you gonna take some more advice from them? They're gonna tell you some shit again. You gonna go do the same, you gonna take their advice the same way with the same level of gravity and believe in that shit with the same level of conviction and go follow their advice again in the world? You gonna do that shit again? No. I don't give a fuck how old you are and what you think you thought. The shit doesn't work. It doesn't work. You can keep saying it over and over. If it don't work, it don't fucking work. You can keep telling me that this is the way it's supposed to go or that this is where it's supposed to end up. But when I do the thing, it don't end up there. It don't work there. So it don't work. So your information is garbage. It's garbage. It doesn't work. And these are for the people who are fucking successful. These are not rare niggas. These are not a little fringe minority or some shit that they probably gonna say. A disgruntled minority. No! 70% of the homeless population have degrees and shit. Do you know that? That's an old statistic that I pulled from my head. I saw that shit while I was still in school, bro. Like 2019, 2018. 70+% of people who are currently homeless finished school. Now you might say nothing is guaranteed when you go through school. True. And even though that's some bullshit, and why the fuck would I spend years of my life doing some shit when I can't even get a single guarantee out of it? I don't know. But whatever percentages of chances that you had of getting some success based off of school in the past, whatever percentage that shit was, that shit is cut in half. So if it was 50%, it's less than 50%. It's half of 50%. It's 25% now. 25% chance. You can bleed, you can sweat, you can cry, you can have a mental breakdown and recover from it and keep going to school and keep going to work. Nothing is guaranteed to your ass. And the chances of you getting the shit that you went to school for, they do not increase for you. In fact, they go down every year. It goes down. And they want to hire, and they will hire some cheaper niggas, because that's the other thing that's going on. The companies don't give a fuck about people who live here and people who work hard. Like I said, don't understand where this blind faith comes from to be involved in the system when the system can shit on your face and will shit on your face at any point throughout your fucking life, regardless of how hard you've done or what you've done correctly. It does not give a fuck. You are covered in shit as of today because the system said your face looking very much like an opportunity for me to take a shit on your face right now. You've been working. You've been sacrificing. You cut yourself off from certain friends because they weren't good influences. You didn't go to parties. You didn't do certain things because they weren't good influences, and you was locked in on this work. And you did all that work. And what do you have to show for it? What's in your hands? Air. You can barely eat. You living in your fucking car and you got 2 or 3 fucking jobs. And your degrees in the back seat. And all the parents can say is, do it again, try harder. That's not a solution. That's not a solution. You're not listening. You're not listening. Now it might be because they're scared. And that's right. They should be scared. We're scared too. They don't know what the solution is. But I tell you what, you're not going to find a solution doing this shit that don't work over and over again. How the fuck you going to find a solution doing what has been proven not to work? Everybody tried it. The niggas are smarter than you and faster than you and did it before you. They getting fucked up by the same situation. You tried it a little different way. You have some unique skills and talents that's different from them. You tried it. You got fucked up too. That nigga over there got fucked up. That woman over there, everybody's getting fucked up. That statistic I gave about 70% homeless population has degrees, I'm willing to bet you that shit has gone way up since 2019. It's 2026. How much you want? I'm looking for the damn percentage right now. Why is this shit so hard to find? I'm gonna get back to the video. It's taking a long time staring at my phone. I'm gonna have the fucking statistics ready next time. Anyway, it's some bullshit. That's just the working. We're just talking. That's just work. And that's gonna be it for this video because it's already long. I'm gonna make a separate video and touch on the other markets. But the work situation in the school and all that shit, it's obviously a failing and broken system. Don't nobody who has any intelligence, which apparently you wanted us to go to school to get intelligent, right? Well, I'm intelligent and I'm thinking that this is some bullshit. And I'm looking at the return on my investment, the fruits of my labor, and I'm not satisfied. So maybe we need to change something, or maybe we need to fix the system, and it's broken and needs to be fixed. How are we gonna do that? Don't know. But I tell you right now, rolling around in this pit that used to be a patch of grass, now it's just mud. It's not gonna make no new fucking foliage sprout up out of the ground. You just covered in mud. You just look fucking stupid. That's what you look. You look stupid. How many people I've met in my own life? This is what you should always live this way. You get statistical information and you get anecdotal information. In my own life, I've met people who have fucking marine biology degrees, degrees in IT, degrees in pharmaceutical industry, working at fucking Target in the technology section as a cashier. They went to USC. They graduated. UCLA. Technology department. That shit should not even happen. The fact that that even happens at all is bad. That's a significant sign that something is wrong. You mean to tell me there was no pathways for this person to get into what they went to school for, or something, at least some higher paying job, after they spent all, if not majority, of their youth in school doing shit that they did not want to do, and they end up working in the fucking technology department in Target? And all you can say is do it again. You messed up somewhere along the way. Maybe this, do it again. Try again. You're in denial. And you're living in delusions. Pure fucking delusions. And it's either because you're too much of a bitch to understand and say that the system is garbage and help your kids find another way, or because you're actually retarded. And even though something is failing over and over again, like a retarded person, you keep doing this shit expecting results of success. Isn't that not the definition of insanity? It's doing the same shit over and over and expecting different results. How many people's kids have gone through the system already? You only have one lifetime, and so is your kid. You and your kid only have one lifetime to live. So you can only experience so much. Which is why it's good to take in statistical information and look at other people. And it's better to look at other people who are more successful than you. I just quoted, and there are more. Go find them. Stop looking at funny shit on TikTok and go find these videos of people who have two fucking 3 degrees in their hand and they work at Starbucks. I'm not finna bleed myself dry trying to do what the fuck they did, and I can see where they are at. Does that make sense? Even the people who are not aiming so high and have all that great shit are fucked up. The people who are just trying to live and get by and they have other ambitions that don't involve no fucking degrees, they can't make it. And these niggas have to rely purely on their work. It's less degrees and less brain involved in pure work. And they're doing that hard work. And they're not getting shit for it. They dying at work. People are so mad nowadays. Everybody starting fires and burning down warehouses and shit. Go to school. Apply to another job. Shut the fuck up. Help me understand a real pathway forward, or let me figure it out. And let us figure it out in a different way. And sometimes, for some people, they've lost hope. I'm going to touch on this and I'm going to end the video. Some people have lost hope, and you should not be trying to castigate them and make them feel like shit for losing hope in a hopeless situation. This is all we have. This is the only economy or life that we've ever grown up in, and we can't make nothing out of it. Would you not be hopeless? Would you not be depressed at least one day out the week? Yes, the fuck you would. Yes, the fuck you would. It's harder for some of you to see because you already have some money. Because you got the little last bit you got through at the tail end before it got so bad as to where it is right now. So you have some money and some shit to sit on. So you pretending like, or you feigning ignorance, or you genuinely can't tell how fucking hard it is. There are people out here who are going to work without having a place to live in. They live in their cars, and they have to go through problems with that shit because laws are being passed to where you can't be parked in the same place. You can't be living in your car. And if they can't find somewhere to take a shower, they can't even go into work. The fucking money that they making at work only pays for the car so that they can keep the car to go live in the car again and go back to work. They're not saving up for no fucking house. They can't afford no fucking apartment. They still living in their car. They just trapped in another loop like everybody else. And they're just a little more unfortunate because they're at the stage where they're living in a car. Some people still have an apartment right now. Or they have some well-off parents, or some parents that can still kind of afford them, so they're living with their parents right now. But they stuck in loops too. It's just loops. You don't have the opportunity to save. Go ahead and try to save. Watch that shit get eaten up. Gone. It don't take nothing but one fucking emergency to destroy your fucking savings. That's not normal. That's not a good thing. That's a sign of a failing economy. You know what the point of savings is? It's to save your ass when you need some money. Your savings can't do that for you, even though you're doing all this work. That's because you're not generating enough money, because society is not putting out enough money. And I'm talking for the people and on behalf of the people who are trying. They've had multiple jobs since they've been out of school. They've worked multiple jobs at the same time. They attempted to go and do it in the school stuff and it didn't work. If you don't have no fucking solutions, stop just flapping your fucking lips talking about do it again. Do it again. Do it again, apply again. No. I'm dying over here. I'm stressed the fuck out over here. I'm stressed just thinking about this shit. And all you can say is do it again. You're not helping. You're not helping. That's not good advice. Okay, but anyway, next video, I'm going to touch on some other markets. Specifically, I'm going to touch on the housing market.